Okay, hello everyone. I'll explain for you Model 5, which is access list for IPv4 configuration. Uh, the model objective would be uh, implementing IPv4 access list to filter traffic and secure administrative access. So first of all, we will try to configure standard IPv4 access list. uh, we will have some basic commands, and then we will have we will have another topic title, which would be modify IPv4 access list. Use sequence number to edit existing standard IPv4 access list, and we will have secure VTI port with a standard IPv4 access list. Configure standard access to secure VTI access. Configure and then configure extend IPv4 access list. Uh, Again, configure extend IPv4 access list to filter traffic according to network requirement. 5.1 configure standard IPv4 access list. Create an access list. All access control lists must be planned when configuring complex ACL. It suggests that you, first of all, you need to have a very good plan for your access list because sometimes it will create some problems or some conflict with the network. Before doing anything, it suggests that you use a text editor and write out specific of the policy to be implemented, so you have a better uh, it would be in front of your eye, and you know what policy do you have and what access list to implement that will not affect any other thing. Add the iOS configuration command to accomplish those tasks, and of course include remarks to document the ACL. Copy and paste commands onto the device. Always thoroughly test an ACL to ensure that correctly apply to the desired policy. What do I mean by this, or what that this means? It means that every time that you try to use access list or implementing access over your network, you need to try to test it thoroughly. It means completely test your network to see that you have the desired policy. For instance, I want some computers to not be able to contact another computer or a server. So I need to check it thoroughly, very good, so that my access is working well. We have numbered standard IPv4 access list syntax. Okay, to create a numbered standard access list, you use this access list command. The command would be on here, would be on the router. Okay, not inside an interface or anything. Okay, it would be inside the global configuration mode, and then we will have the word access list. Okay, and then we will have a number. Okay, this number, the range for the standard would be from 1 to 99, okay, and from 113 to 199, 1013 to 1099. Okay, then we will have either deny or permit or remark. The remark will be a text. Okay, what is this each one? The first one, deny, it means to deny a, for instance, an IP address to accessing FTP server. Okay, to permit says, okay, this permit can be, uh, for instance, this IP can do or can ping a FTP server. A remark is an optional. Okay, it is not mandatory, it is optional. The text entry for a documentation purpose. Okay, so you put a remark that tells you what did you do or why did you create that access list. It's totally up to you. Okay, then we have source. Okay, the source, and in this parenthesis we have source wildcard. What do I mean by this? The source is identify the source network or host address to filter. Okay, you will need a source network. Okay, uh, from as long as you are inside the router, you will need some address, and it will be a source address to filter. For instance, uh, what IP address to filter? A source wildcard mask, we will talk about this also, or by now we talked about it. Wildcard mask, what is it? It's an optional also 30-bit wildcard mask that is applied to the source. And we have log. The log again, also it is optional, okay? Because in here says inside the parentheses says log. The log is optional. Generate and send information message when ACE is matched, okay? We have a note here. Use the no access list, okay, and access list number, global configuration mode, which means in here in this mode, to remove the number standard access list. For instance, you put the accesses that now you don't want it. You can just repeat this one, okay, and in front of it just say no, okay, no, I don't want this uh, command. Now we have named standard IPv4 access syntax. For instance, we don't have a number, we have a name, okay? First, in order to create it, you need to put it like this: IP access list, okay? Standard access list name. So how would we create it inside the router? We say, for instance, IP access list standard no access, okay? You see that here is all in capital. However, the capitalizing ACL name is not required. Okay, but it makes it them that stand out. So it's easier for you to see it if you do the capitalization when you try to inside the privilege if privilege mode, write show running config. Okay. So it is easier. So in order to create the named standard IPv4 access list, you will use this IP access list standard and then the name that you want to apply it. Okay, let's say that I want to apply a standard IPv4 access list. Okay, after standard IPv4 access is configured, okay, it must be linked into an interface or a feature. Okay, so you see that when we create an access list, we need to apply it over a serial or an interface or a gigabyte Ethernet. Okay, so as you can see here in this command in here says if, which stand for interface. This means that we need to apply it to an interface. How would we do that? Okay, the command would be IP access group. Okay, IP access group and then access list number or access list name. Okay, so we have two options. Either it is 10, okay, or 11 or any number, or let's say access, okay, access denied, like before. So also we need to tell it, is it in or out? Okay, we have, because we have inbound and we have outbound. We need to make sure that it would be inbound or outbound. Inbound means the all the traffics that comes into this router because we are inside the router. Outbound means all those traffics that are going outside the router. Now we have uh, this access list. Okay, this example access permit a traffic from host 192.168.10.10 and all hosts on the this subnet network out interface on serial. Okay, so we have this on the IP. Okay, and we have this subnet. Okay, and we have a serial. So let's see. And now it created access list 10. It's just numbered. Okay, it is not, doesn't have any name, it's number access list. And also we are inside the global configuration mode. Okay, there's a remark. Okay, and ACE premise only hosts this, and this would be like a text or something for ourselves. Now we have access list 10 permit host and 192.168.10.10, so it will only permit this IP address from this network. Okay, so from the subnet of 10, okay, dot 0, which is 192.168.10.0, it will only allow the this IP. Okay, it will not allow all of the IP, it will only allow the computer that have 10. Now, because we are inside the global configuration mode, we cannot say just show access list. We need to have this word do, and now it shows us that permit, this is the access list number. We have 10, permit only this one. Okay, now also we have something else. We are inside the R2, we have access list 10 remark AC permit all hosts in LAN 2. Okay, this is being, or this is worked, which it will be considered as LAN 2. Okay, for example, here this one is LAN 2. Let's say this is LAN 1. In LAN 1, it will be only 10, and on LAN 2, all the IPs. So how would we do that? We will say access list 10 permit 192.168.20, okay, and all, as long as it is 255, it means all the IPs that it is inside this LAN, okay, and it here say all hosts in the LAN. And again, we do show access list, and now tells me that 20, because I need to create another permission, 192.168.20.0, and the wildcard bits is this one. Okay. After that, we finished all the access list, and now we need to create something else. We need to make sure that we will apply it over the interface, okay, because we said now in here we have an interface, we have only one IP and a network and an interface. Now we will say, we will go inside the interface serial 010, and how would we know that it is out? Okay, because here it says out interface. Okay, however, in the exam you should know, and you should look at this, or you should have your common sense or your knowledge to know if it is out or inside. So let's say this is a router. Okay, this is like a switch. Okay, and these are some computers, and also here. So the interface that is near to the LAN here, this one is the LAN. Okay, this will be in. Okay, so if you apply it over this link here, it will be in. If you apply it here, it will be out. Okay, so let's say this is the router that now we are working on. This is R1. We are applied over here. Okay, over out. And how would we do that? We will say IP access group 10 out. Okay, and we will end it. So we will go inside the outside the interface. Okay, so we will apply it outside. Now let's say how to take a look at all those that we did. Okay, the first one would be show running config, as we all know. Where is it? Yes, show running config inside the privilege mode. How we know it is privilege mode? Because of this one. Okay, if it is like this, like let's say R1, and like this is user mode, and R1 a hash would be privilege mode, and the previous one that we took a look, it was global configuration mode. Now, once we take a look at this, it will give us this. Here it says show run pipe section access list. Okay, it will only bring you all those keywords that have access list only, not everything. So if you want to only see the access list, you can do it like this. So now we see that we have only this, and also we have permit 1010. Okay, we need to make sure this one is uh, just like a message. Okay, this one is the permission, and the remark says LAN to all the hosts on the LAN 2, and we did it here. Okay, now see, now we have also something else. We have show IP interface. The show IP interface serial, this 010 include access list, means that it bring me all those information, okay, related to this serial or this interface. Also, it should include access list. So it will bring also the keyword access list, not bringing all the information. Now, what does it says? It says outgoing access list is 10. Okay, so it means that we have an access list. It's just numbered and it is number 10 and says it is outbound. For the inbound, there's nothing. There's no access list or anything applied here. So now we have also named standard ACL. Okay, so instead of 10 or anything, you can also have a named. So in here says no access list 10. This will delete access list number 10. Now we will say IP access list standard. Okay, this is the name, permit access. Okay, in the remark we will just like it's like an message remark ACE permit host. This is a message. Okay, and here says permit host 191.168.10.10 is like the previous one, and we will just try to mimic it this time, not with number, with the name. So it is totally just like the same. We have this one. Okay, again we have this subnet and we have outgoing and we have also the serial. Now again in here we have something else which is LAN 2. Permit all hosts in LAN 2. It will give it this a wildcard mask. Okay, it will say permit 992.168.20.0, and for making sure that it will permit all the hosts, it gave it 255. Okay, and exit. And of course, again, going inside the serial and says IP access group. This one would be the name. Okay, the previous one was 10. Now this time is permit access, which is this name and outgoing. Uh, Again, to take a look at the uh, access list that we have created, we can now go inside the privilege mode. Okay, and in here privilege mode and write show access list. Once you type show access list, it will show you all the access list that you have. The first one would be permit access. Okay, now you see you have this one. Okay, again, and you have this one. So there's no difference between the name or number. If it is 10, if it is permit access, there's no difference. However, this one is more preferred. Okay, this one is more preferred by the network administrators. Now again, show run pipe, this called pipe section IP access list. It will bring you again. This tells you the name and this IP address. Okay, it will says just like a message and permit, of course, again this message and then all the IPs inside this LAN. Okay. Also, you can show IPs in serial 010, include access list, and it will tell you that outgoing access list is permit access because sometime you may have too many or 10 or 5 or 7 access lists. Okay. So at that time, it is preferred to have a name. Okay. So you will recognize it. Uh, the packet tracer. Okay. So now if you in I will in this slide, what does it mean? It says that in the packet tracer you will complete the following objective. This is for the practical mainly. However, why did I explain these commands for you? So in order just so you know the commands, because in the exam or in the midterm you may have the commands ask you, for instance, how to configure a named standard access list. And that time you will say, in order to do that, it will be IP access list standard permit access. Okay. And it will say, for instance, permit all the hosts inside 10. 192.168.10.0/24. It's that time you say permit host 192.168.10.0 and the wildcard mask, just like this. Okay, it might ask you this question and also says and configure the interface serial as 010 or 011 as an inbound. At that time, instead of out, you will say in. Okay, and you will just repeat these with no problem. Uh, okay. modify IPv4 access list. We have two methods to modify an access list. Okay, first, use editor or use sequence number. After ACL is configured, it may need to be modified. Actually, with multiple ICs can be complex to configure. Sometimes the configured IC does not yield the expected behavior, okay? Because sometimes you configure some access list and you think that is quite good, but however, it is not working as expected. So you want to remove it, or instead of removing, you will say, okay, the problem is this section, and you want to just modify it, okay? How to there how to do that? There's two major methods, okay? The first one, use text editor or use sequence number. We will go through each one. Okay, access list with a multiple ICE, okay, should be created in a text editor. This allow you to fix it. Okay, to correct an error in the access list, okay, copy the ACL from the running configuration and paste it into text editor. Okay, make necessary edits and changes. Remove the previously configured ACL on the router and copy and paste the edited ACL into the router. So let's say that you want to do something and it is quite problematic. You did not want to do that. How to modify it? You will open a text editor. Okay, it's like a Notepad, Notepad plus plus anything. Okay, the first one you will copy the access list from the running configuration. Okay, from here. For instance, you will copy this one and this one, okay? Or you see from here, from the running configuration, it says access list 1, deny this one, okay? So for instance, this one has a problem. This is 192, okay? This one has a problem, 192, 168, 10, 10. Here says 19. You need to modify it. It is not 119, it should be 192. So how to do that? Okay, you will copy these two, okay? You will copy these two, okay? The first one, when you say new access list, okay, it will remove entirely these two, okay? Once you do that, again, try to copy and paste it. How? You will come inside it and access list 1, deny 191.68.10.10. You see here was 19, now here's 192, okay, 19, 192. So now this number 2 was missing. Now it brings it again. Again, you need to also permit all the hosts from LAN 10. Okay. Uh, Now what does it says? It says permit. So you have a deny. Okay, deny. So it means permit all the hosts inside this LAN except 10. Okay, for instance, this number 10 I gave it to a computer that I don't want to access FTP server or any server. Okay, so what will I do? I will say deny, and then the access list, I will say permit all the other hosts inside this LAN. Okay, so this is the preferred one. Okay, the sequenced number method. Okay, also we have a sequence number. The ACL ACE can be deleted or added using the ACL sequence number. How? Use the IP access list standard, okay, to edit an ACL. So let's say that I want to edit an access list, access control list. So the ACL, so access control list, okay. The first thing that I need to do is use the IP access list standard command and edit an ACL. So I will say show access list, okay? And now the standard IP access list is 110 deny 192, which is should be 192. Here says 19 168 10 10, and it will give me this one. The statement cannot be overwriting, okay? Where's my mouse? Okay. The here says the statement cannot be overwritten using an existing sequence number. Okay. The current statement must be deleted first with the number 10 command, and then the correct ACE can be added using the sequence number. Okay, so we are inside the privilege mode. We say show access list. That now we know that we have standard IP access list T1. Okay, now we will go in configure terminal and IP access list standard 1. So what will we do? We say no 10. Okay, it means that I don't have any 10. Now what will I say? I'll say 10 deny host 192.168.10.10. So what is this 10? What is no 10? It is this number 10. Okay, and after that I'll say just end and then show access list. Okay, 10 deny 192.168.10.10. Okay, so in here now it was not 19, in here says 192. How? Because we first deleted this one and then we try to again uh, try to uh, fix the problem. With the 20 permit 192.168.10.0 wildcard bits is this one, it has no problem. Okay. Modify a named ACL example. For example, you have a named ACL example and you want to modify it. Okay. A named ACL can also be sequence number to delete and add ACEs in the example, an ACE added to deny host, this one. Okay, so we have show access list. Okay, we see we have 10 D9 191.68.10.10 and we have 20 permit 191.68.10.10 wildcard bits, this one. Now in here, uh, in order to modify it, we go to inside the configure terminal, which is now we are inside the global configuration mode. We says R1 config. We have IP access list standard no access. Okay. Now we say 15, deny 192.168.10.5 and end. Okay, now we do a modification. So before we had 10 and we had 20. Now we say 15, okay, deny this IP address. Okay, now if we again return back, we will have 15, we have 10, and we have 20. The 15 says a deny. So we did a modification, okay, uh, which would be over the IP address number 192.168.10.5. Okay. Modify IPv4 access list. So let's say the show access list command in this example show the static for each statement that has been matched. Okay, so it means how many time this one has matched, how many time does this IP address try to connect to something or try to connect a server. In here says 20 times. Okay, 20 time match, 20 time this packet goes on outside the router and it was a match, so they denied it. So the standard list, this access list worked for this IP address 20 time and for this one 64 matches. Okay, now you what you say, clear access list counter number of access. So this is how you will clear this 20 or this 64 by saying clear the first one and access list counter no access. Okay, this is the name. So let's say that we have access list number 10. Instead of those no access, you will say 10. Okay, now if we again show access list, there's nothing. As you can see, there's no matches, there's not anything. Again, there's a packet tracer that it will you will have your opportunity to configure or modify it. Okay, these are the basically these commands are from the packet tracer or from the router, so you can apply it over the router and you will see that it will work perfectly. Okay, secure VTY ports with the standard IPv4 access list. the access class command, a standard access can secure remote administrative access to a device using VTY lines, okay, by implementing the following two steps. The first one would be create an access list to identify which administrative host should be allowed to remote access, okay, and apply a ACL to incoming traffic on the VTY line. So uh, in order to create this, we will have this command, okay. The first one would be R1, and it says access class. The access class number, let's say it is 10, okay, or a name like let's say test, okay, and it says in or out. So we will have either in or out, okay, and in here says access to incoming traffic on the line V2I, so we can say incoming traffics. So now we will have an example. Okay, this example demonstrate how how to configure an access control list to filter V2I traffic. Okay, first, a local database entry for a user admin and a password class is configured. Okay, so we have a username admin secret class. Secret means the password. Okay, so then we have the IP access list standard admin host. Okay, we created an access list and the name is admin host. Okay, and we will just give it a nice message from here using remark this access secured incoming V2I lines. Okay, so as you can see using this remark, okay, once you try to go inside, once you enter the IP access list standard admin host, and now you are inside the standard NACL. Okay, now we will give it a nice message. Okay, this is the message, and in here we say permit 192.168.10.10. Okay, deny any. Okay, so we said only permit this one and deny any other IP addresses that comes in and try to access this, uh, let's say NACL. Now we have line VTY 04. The login is the local, okay, and the transport input telnet. From here, what would tell us and says access class admin host input, okay, and here tells us that if someone tried to uh, access this line 04 line VTY, okay, it should be access class admin host, and we know that the admin host access list has only this IP address, so this what tells him only to permit this one to enter uh, this let's say this local database. Okay, so this is how you will secure a VTY. It will You will put an access list, and that access list that you created it before that has only one IP addresses. It will tell them that only allow uh, that IP address to access line VTY 04. Then verify the VTY port is secured. Okay. After an ACL restricted access to the VTY line configured, it's important to be verified. Of course, every time you do something, you need to make sure that verified. So you see that the policy is what you meant to create it. And in here, in the R1, okay, in here, we if we just permit something, if we just enter the show access list, it will tell me that I have 10 and 20. Okay, the name of the access list is admin host. Okay, now we have two matches. That this one we had two time this IP address try to enter, and we matched it, and deny also have two matches. It means that only this 1010 will be allowed to uh, enter that database. Okay, We have configured extended IPv4 access list, extend the ACL, provide a greater degree of control. Okay, they can filter source address, okay, destination address, okay, source address, destination address, a protocol, and a port number. And the protocols, for example, IP, TCP, UDP, ICMP, and so on. The extended ACL can be created as, so we have these two. So we have the extended and we have the standard. Okay, so we have two type of access list. We have standard, okay, standard, and we have the extended. So extended will provide you a greater degree of control. So if you have no problem with security, it is just some accesses, you can use standard. But however, if you want to make sure that every port and every protocol, the source address and the destination address, everything is important, so you can use extended access list, okay? And it can be created two ways. Again, named or named or numbered. Okay, so we have numbered again, and we have named. So it says access list and access list number, so like 10. And here says IP access list extend. So before it was IP access list standard, okay, then it was the name. So for the number, it is quite easy. You just say access list and the number. However, for the named one, you need to have first the word IP and then access list, of course, and you need to verify that it's extended, and then the name, for instance, test. Okay, so for the extension, again, we have numbered and we have named. So protocols and ports. We have protocol options and extended access control lists can filter on internet protocol and port using this sign. Okay, so in here says access list 10 100 permit, and then it entered this one. It will tell me what are the things that I can. Okay, I can say ICMP or IP, TCP, UDP. Okay, this one will give you a help, so it will be shifted and the question sign. Okay, so you say access list 100 permit, shift it, hold shift it button, and then this question, it will give you all those options that you have. uh, the four highlighted protocols are the most popular options, so these are the most popular options. Okay, also we have OSPF, and we have IPNIB and IGMP and so on, EIGRP. So protocols and ports continued, and also selecting the protocols influence support option. Okay, so in here says access list 100 permit TCP. Okay, any equal to, and then this one it's hold it this one. So we can see that we have domain, we have FTP date, we have POP3, we have SMTP, simple message transfer protocol, we have telnet, we have www or like HTTP, and so on. So for instance, if it is TCP, it will give you these. Okay, uh, if it is UDP, it will give you another like protocols. Now, protocols and port number configuration example. Okay, the extended ACL can filter on a different port number and port name options. And then configuration extended ACL 100 to filter HTTP traffic. Okay, the first ACE uses the www port name. The second ACE uses port 80. Both ACs achieve exactly the same results. So if it is this one or this one, it will achieve exactly the same result. Okay, so it says access list and the number and the permit, of course, if it permit or sorry, if it is permit or deny, and says TCP, okay, any equal to www or equal to AT. So it will give you the protocol or the number. Configuring the port number is required when there is no specific protocol name. Okay, lists such as SSH would be port 22 or HTTPS would be 443 and so on. Or telnet, I think telnet is 20. It is important, so not every time you will have www. For instance, in this example, uh, for HTTPS, in here it was HTTP, we had www. However, in here for HTTPS, which is stand for secure, we have no name, so we need to make sure that we will say access list 10 permit TCP any, and it would be 443. EQ means equal 443. Now apply numbered extended uh, IPv4 ACL. So in this example, the ACL permit both HTTP and HTTPS traffic from this network, okay, to go to any destination. So we have TCP, okay, we have network 6110, and we have the wildcard mask, and we will say any EQ from HTTP, which is this one, and again the same procedure 443 for HTTPS, okay. So by the wildcard mask, as long as it says 30, it means that this one should match. Okay, this one should be just like this one in order to work. However, for the 255, it is no important. It has 255 number of hosts. If sometime might be 10, some might be 20 or 13, there's no problem, or 32, 46, and so on. This one can vary, however, this one should match. And again, we applied over an interface IP access group 110N. Okay. Uh, in here it was, yes, 110, and also in here 110, it would be inbound and then exit the configuration. The TCP established extended ACL. TCP can also perform a basic stateful firewall service using the TCP established keyword. Okay, so we have the TCP established, as you have this keyword, and it can work like a firewall. So it will block some packets to not come inside or not going inside outside. The established keyword enable inside traffic to exit the inside private network and permit the returning and reply traffic to enter the inside private network. Okay. TCP traffic generated by an outside host, okay, and attempting to communicate with the inside is denied. So from this side, let's say this is the inside, okay. From here it can go, okay, and it can return back. However, when it is from the outside, it is from out, it will not be allowed to enter my private network. Okay, so they established this keyword would let the inside private network packet go inside, to go outside and return back. However, it will not allow the outside packets to enter my private network. The TCP traffic is generated by an outside host, okay, attempting to communicate with an inside host is denied. Why? Because it is being generated here, okay, not generated here, goes inside, outside, and return back. It has been generated outside, okay, so it will not be allowed to come inside. The TCP established this keyword. How can we use it? The ACL 120 configured to only permit returning web traffic to the inside host. Okay, the ACL is then applied outbound on the RG00 interface. Now we have an access list 120 permit TCP any 191.168 this one, and all the hosts inside this network established. Okay, what will this do? Okay, it will permit returning web traffic to the inside host. Okay, and then we have the outbound on RG000. So we have this interface G00 gigabyte Ethernet G000 IP access group 120 out and end. Now you see that in here it says 20 and we have the extended IP access list 120 and we have access of 110. So in 120 it says the IP it says 10 permit TCP any from this established 1166 matches. Okay. However, in this app, in this access list that been created before says 20 permit TCP. Okay, 10.0 all this hosts any EQ443 shows 657 matches. The named extended IPv4, it's just like the standard, it says IP access list extended. This one is not standard, extended, and the name. So no FTP access. So just take a look here. When you say IP access list extended, no FTP server, it will go from global configuration mode to extended NACL. Okay. uh, Name the extended IP for example. Okay, the topology below is used to demonstrate configure applying two named extended IPv4 access list. We have surfing and we have browsing. Here's it surfing and here's browsing. This one is outside public network and this one is inside private network. So the surfing will try to permit inside HTTP and HTTP traffic to exit to the internet. So this one surfing will allow me that uh, HTTP and HTTPS to go outside, okay, or to exit to the internet. However, the browsing, this will only permit returning web traffic to the inside host while all other traffic existing interface is implicitly denied. So it will only permit what? Returning web traffic to inside host. Okay, it will not allow any other thing, nothing, just web traffic to the inside host. So this one is our host. Okay, it will this one the browsing will only let the web traffic to inside host while all other traffic existing, okay, exiting the RG0 interface is implicitly denied. So anything that exiting this one would be denied. Okay, we have named extended IPv4 access list example. We have IP access list extend surfing. Okay, and we have browsing. So these are the two names that we had in the previous example. Okay, when you do this, this one is a message. It tells me to permit TCP with 18 and 443. This one is HTTP and this one's for HTTPS. However, in the browsing, we have this message and says permit TCP only, okay, 192.10 and is established, okay, and exit. As we explained it before, it says that all these traffics that been created by this one, okay, or being created by this one, which mean HTTP and HTTP only to be go inside, going outside and return back. Only these two would be allowed to go inside and outside. And the interface G00, okay, we have the surfing in and we have the browsing out. Okay, so we will apply over the G00, which is here. We will have an inbound and we will have an outbound for out. Okay, so we have two extended access list. It will have these two rules for the inbound, for the outbound. For the inbound, it will allow these two, HTTP and HTTPS. However, for the outbound, says established. So it means only those would be returned and accepted that being created by these rules, by HTTP and HTTPS. And in here, it will give us a show access list. We can take a look of the number of matches and the established. In order to the show access list command will verify the access statistics. It will give you the statistic and it will give you the name and everything about the access list. We have browsing, we have surfing. For the browsing says TCP any, and this one is that also is established. For the surfing it says the permit TCPs from these hosts as long as it's HTTP and HTTPS. Only these two will be allowed to go outside. Uh, how to edit it? Again, we can do the same as before. However, it can be edited using the text editor. Okay, copy and paste it, delete it, and then copy and paste it. Like we have the show access list, says 10 permit TCP any and established. In here says 10 permit TCP 192. This one should be 192, however it's 19, so we need to change this one. We will say IP access list extended surfing. We will say again no 10 because we had problem was 10. Okay, no 10, and then 10 permit TCP 192.168.10.0. Okay, uh, and again 192 because we are trying to modify it. Another extended IPv4 access example, we have this host. Okay, this is our host. Okay, we have over the G00, we have two access list, extended access list. We have the permit PC1 and we have the reply PC1. So this one would be inbound, this one would be outbound. The permit PC1, okay, only permit PC1 TCP access to internet and deny all other hosts in the private network. Okay, and the reply, this will only permit specific return TCP traffic to PC1, implicitly deny all other traffic. Okay, so let's take a look at the codes. So now we have the access list extended permit PC1. Okay, this is a message. It will permit, okay, TCP option here says only this one. Okay, allow 20, 21, 22, 23, 53, 80, 443, 80, 443, and deny any. So it means allow all of these, okay, and deny any other thing except these. Okay, it will only allow these. Now we have IP access list extended reply. So this one was uh, permit PC1 and this one is reply. Okay, it will only reply, or it will only uh, let the packets comes out inside the uh, the private network if it is established, if it is either this or this or this or any of these, and it will apply. As we said, the permit PC1 would be in, the reply would be out. And let's take a hint, the permit would be in because it is near to the LAN, and the reply would be near to what? To the router. So that's how we know what is in and what is out. How to verify it? We have the show IP interface G00, and we will take a look at this. We have over the G00, we have outgoing access list as reply PC1 and the permit PC1. Or if we said show IP interface G00 include access list, it will not bring all of these, okay, that we don't need. It will only bring these two lines, okay, these only two lines. And how to do that? By using this pipe and include access list. Verify extended ACL. Again, we can say show access list, and it will bring you all the access lists that have been created to what? To permit PC1. These are the rules that we have, and for the reply PC, it is established. Okay. Again, we can also verify like this: begin IP access list. So again, we will have IP access list extended, and it has these, and this deny, of course, this one is deny, means do not allow any other thing, and this one is reply PC1, and it says established. So it will allow these to go outside and comes inside again. Okay, no any other port number or protocol. We have two packet tracers that you can implement all of these uh, works on it. The first one would be configure extended IPv4 access list for scenario 1. The first one, apply and verify an extend number, okay, and extended name. The second one is same, and it says configure named extend IPv4 ACL and apply the extend, verify the extended IPv4 access list. Uh, Thank you very much.